we are going to talk about present perfect tense. This is also one of the most important tense in English language. What does this tense show? Present perfect tense is used to show an action which happened in a specific time, in an specific time in the past. The time is what? Not specific. The time is unspecific. We use the present perfect tense to show an action that happened in the past. I mean, the action started and finished before now. The action started in the past and finished before now. The time of the action is, the time that the action happened in the past, that is not clear. That is not specific. The time is unspecific. Make sense? Okay. So, this tense, how we can make sentence regarding to present perfect tense. So, we have subject for making of sentence. We have what? When you want to write down some sentence according to the present perfect tense, we have to follow the following structure. Subject plus what plus have. We say for have and has auxiliary verb as well. Have and has plus third form of the verb plus third form of the verb. We can write down verb 3 plus complement. So this is the structure of present perfect tense. If we remember this structure, when we read a passage or when we want to write down something, when we read a passage, we can recognize the sentence. If the sentence be related to this structure, so the sentence is called what? Present perfect sentence. But if you would like to write down something according to the present perfect tense as well, we have to remember this structure, that we write down sentence related to this structure. How we can write down sentence? We can write down sentence subject plus have, has, verb 3 plus complement. So, subject, you know that subject, as I talked before about the subject, and as you know the subject, we can write down subject pronoun, and we can write down what? The name of people as well. Okay? Or something else. We have talked already about the subject. That subject is the doer of an action, or subject is the person or thing that we talk about it. So, we can write down the name of someone. Like what? Like Naweed. Naweed. So, if the subject is singular, if we have from the subject pronoun I, we, you, they, so we write down what? Have. For I, we, you, they, I, we, you, they. We write down what? We write down have. We use have. If we have he, she, it. If the subjects are singular, we write down what? Has. In here we have Naveed. Naveed is what? Singular. Naveed is one person. We have what? Naveed. So, when you want to make sentence for Naveed, that Naveed has been somewhere, or Naveed did something in the past. Okay? So we write down what? Naveed is the subject. What we write down after subject? Have or has. According to this form, according to this usage that we use he, she, it with has, the singular with has. So we write down what? Has for Naveed. Naveed has. Naveed has studied. Studied. This is the third form of the verb. The third form of the verb. So, Naveed has studied his lesson before. We don't know that when did Naveed do his lesson. When did Naveed study his lesson? The time is unspecific. The time is not clear. If I ask Muqtadir, or if I ask someone, if I ask Naveed's brother that did Naveed study his lesson, or has he studied his lesson? His brothers then reply for me that Naveed has studied his lesson. Naveed has studied his lesson. So before, when he say before, I don't know that when did he study. The time is not clear. I don't know that when did Navid study. Navid studied his lesson last night. Navid studied his lesson early in the morning. Navid studied his lesson yesterday afternoon. Navid studied his lesson yesterday morning. Navid studied his lesson on Thursday morning, Thursday night. Still, the happening of the action is not clear. I mean, the time that the action happened, it is not clear for us. Make sense? Good. So, in here, we are going to talk as well about two adverbs that they use. There are some adverbs that we can use them with the present perfect tense, like already, yet, still, since, for, just. These are verbs. But two adverbs that it focus regarding to our lesson, regarding to label 1, interchange label 1, unit 10, page 65. Here we have present perfect with already and what? With yet. So how we can use yet and already with the present perfect tense? How we can use yet and already with the present perfect tense? And here I'm going to as well talk about that and how we can use it. So we use the adverb yet, So let me to erase this one. I'm sure that you got it, okay? We have one yet, and the other is what? Already. So where we can use from these two adverbs? We can use from yet in the negative sentence and in the question forms. When we want to change our sentence into the question form, the sentence was, Navid has studied his lesson before. If you want to change it into the question form, how we can change it? So, in the question form, we bring the auxiliary, I mean, have and has at the beginning of our sentence. Look at the structure in the question form, have, has, plus subject, plus verb 3, plus complement, okay? This is the question form. Has, Navid studied his lesson yet? So, we use yet in here. Has Navid studied his lesson yet? It means that, did Navid studied his lesson before? Did Navid studied his lesson by now? Okay? So, when we use it, when we change it into the question form, we mostly, or we can use from yet in the question form. Or if you want to change it into the negative form, we say Navid has not studied his lesson yet. So it means that Navid has not studied his lesson yet. He didn't study his lesson up to now. He haven't done his work yet. Got it? Okay. So we can use yet in the negative and in the question form most of the time, or mostly. And where we can already is using the positive. I mean, in the affirmative statements, when you want to say affirmative statements, like what, like Navid has already called me. Navid has already called me. Muqtadir came in the class and he asked me, did Navid call you, teacher? Or has Navid called you already? Has Navid called you yet? I answer or reply for Muqtadir. Navid has already called me. Navid has already called me. Okay? Or he said that, I saw Navid and Navid told me that tell for the teacher that I have some problem and I cannot come to the class today. I reply for Muqtadir, or I say for Muqtadir that Navid has already called me. Navid has already called me. Okay? I mean, before you came in the class and report that Navid was sick or Navid has some problem, he saw you. So Naveed has called me as well. Make sense or not? So, where we can use already can be used after the verb have and has, and also we can use it at the end of the sentence as well. Like what? Like Naveed has washed the dishes already. Okay? So it means that Naveed already did this one. We can use already at the end of the sentence. I hope that you get this point and you understand what is